What's up guys, Invisible Jiu-Jitsu, David Morsagao here. Got Wugrish again. For once I'm not the worst dressed person. He's got the crazy shorts today, no pinky. Flashback, Metamoris 4, Josh Barnett versus Dean Lister. Eagerly anticipated, we didn't know what was going to happen. Dean Lister hadn't been tapped in years and years and years, I think still at this point. So it was a massive, massive shock to get tapped by Josh Barnett. This is what Josh did. Josh passed and he established a side control. And from the camera angle we had, I'm not sure if he tried to attack something, maybe like a key lock or something. But Dean Lister tried to turn a little bit, he tried to run away. And Josh took that opportunity to swim through and pick up the regular Kesa Gatame. Okay? Kesa Gatame here, he went hips in, passed the arm, took his grip. Okay. Dean Lister, he freaked out at this point. He started pushing the face. Yeah, he started to bridge. He didn't go quietly into the night. But unfortunately for Dean Lister, it wasn't an Independence Day situation and there wasn't an F-18 jet to fly up Josh Barnett's ass. So, Dean had to tap. Here's what happened, okay? Let's break it down in all the little stages. Let's face this way, okay? So, whatever happened here, okay, Dean Lister started to turn away and Josh wrapped, okay? And he switched to Kesa Gatame, to scarf hold, okay? Now, what we need to do in scarf hold is we need to make sure we're through to the bicep with this arm and we need to make sure we're underneath this shoulder, okay? And I'll show you that from a different angle in a second. So we need to make sure, and we can do this by picking up the head, that we wrap deep, okay? We don't want to be here with a gap. We want to be deep, bicep into his neck, okay? And I don't want to be low down here. Let's just turn, okay? I don't want to be low down. This elbow can hit the ground, okay? What I want is to get my wrap, relax. I want to get my wrap, and I want to get it up deep, and I want to hold my thigh, okay? Once I have the hold of my thigh, try and turn into me, get this elbow down, okay? Very difficult, all right? Now, when Josh Barnett is on top of you, he's a big, heavy dude, okay? But if he sits on the ground, there's not so much weight on my opponent, okay? So once we get into this Kesa, I actually want to get up on my toes, and I want all my weight to be carried through my middle of my ribs, my lower ribs, through my opponent's chest. Now, let's just move back a little bit. Once we get to here, what I'm gonna do is swim through. Now, it's not gonna be as easy as that, so what we can do to make it a bit easier to create a gap is by going hips in. Oh look, now I have this gap to swim around so that I can clasp my hands, okay? Josh, when he finished Dean Lister, he actually went palm up with this hand, okay? A lot of the time I'll come palm down as well. I'm not so certain it makes such a massive difference, okay? Experiment, try yourself. Come back and tell me what you think is better. It's gonna change the attack of my bicep into his neck, but I feel like if that's the limiting factor here, you're just doing everything else way too wrong anyway, okay? So once I get into this position, what I want to do is I want to get underneath his shoulder, okay? Not be picking up his neck here and just trying to tug on his neck. I want to pick up his shoulder so that I can really drive my chest down into him. And now, we have to understand that this is a weight choke, W-E-I-G-H-T, but it's also a W-A-I-T choke. It's a weight choke. We got to wait. It's not something that's going to happen in 2 seconds. We saw Dean Lister. He took 10 seconds of thrashing and pushing before he tapped to it. And he'd already fought for 19 and a half minutes already. It was in the last 30 seconds of a 20-minute match. So once I establish my Kesa, I go hips in, pass, find my shoulder, okay? And then we pull. Ah, okay, there's my tap. So what I'm doing with my arms here is going through, in, and I'm trying to use my Dean Lister substitute here like a jar of toothpaste. okay, like a tube of toothpaste, and his head is the cap, okay? I want to pop the toothpaste out the top of his head. So as I pull in, I'm going to drive my ribs in here, okay? So let's just spin, change the angle a little bit so we can see what's going on. Here, he turned away a little bit. Okay, we caught the head. I can pick up the head to make that deep. I hold my leg. Hip in, pass, collect the shoulder. Here. And now, Dean Lister freaked out. He started to move around. All Josh did was spread his base, and he knew he had it. He knew he had it. He didn't switch. Okay, he didn't switch the technique. He didn't switch the attack. He didn't try something different. He'd been in that position so many times, experienced catch wrestler, experienced MMA fighter. He knew once he had that sunk, it was sunk. Okay? 20-minute fight, end of it, he knew that that tap was coming. If he hadn't, there are lots of things he could have switched to. Primary one for me is once we get into this point, the guy starts pushing my face, I'm going to switch off into my head and arm choke. Okay? Head and arm choke from here, classic, easy finish. But Josh knew he already had the chest compression. Okay? Now, in terms of finishing from here, there's loads of finishes to the head and arm. They're all good. Okay, I've seen loads of experienced high-level guys all teach their own one and all think theirs is best. They all work. I'm not going to lie to you. One of my favorites is to get to here, angle a little bit, and then come in with a twist as I drive my shoulder in. Okay, but that could be the subject for another video. Now, the cool thing about this choke is it really gives up very little. Okay, and it's a very underutilized position. Okay, it's very underutilized in Jiu-Jitsu because they don't understand, or a lot of Jiu-Jitsu players don't understand the nuances of the position. But you ask anyone from Judo, from catch wrestling, from luta livre, it's a big part of their system. Okay, we just have to understand the potential downfall, the potential pitfall where he goes to my back. But if you understand that, there's a lot of attacks from this position, and it's a very powerful position. And we don't have to be 110 kilos like Josh Barnett to make it work. Okay, even the smaller guys, they can make this position work. Okay, so one more time. I have my side control here. He tried to turn away a little bit. We catch the head, and we come back through and we catch. Okay, if we can transition straight into our grip, you see how I want to find this grip. Okay, we're good, and we're in. If I really don't like him, I treat him like a tube of toothpaste. I try and squeeze everything out of his head. Okay? Now again, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Once I'm in this, it's a very secure position. Okay? I'm here, I'm squeezing. I don't lean over him so that I get rolled. I just center my ribs on him. And you probably can't see on the video, but my bum is floating like this much off the ground. It's putting all my weight through him. It's a big difference to me being sat on the ground here and just trying to do everything with my arms. It's uncomfortable, but are you going to tap? No, he's not going to tap. It doesn't sound good, but he's not going to tap. When I go hips up, big difference, okay? So what I'm trying to do is drive everything through those ribs at the top, middle, you know, depending where. What I don't want to do is get too much where I'm falling off the side, be right up in my armpit, okay? I want to be down here. If I start going too much where I'm at the top, look, I'm gonna make a gap and he's gonna start trying to turn back in and get this elbow back down and I lose the position. I look a fool, okay? So, hopefully there was some little details in there that perhaps you hadn't seen before. As I said, I train a lot of luta livre. We've got a lot of catch wrestling here in the UK. It's a very common position, very well-known position, chest compression. Not so much in Jiu-Jitsu, until Josh Barnett did it back in 2014, Metamoris 4. So, hopefully there's some things you can take away from there, some things you can do. If you want to see any follow-up attacks, please leave a comment down below. If you like the video, share with your friends, okay? So, catch wrestling, luta livre, judo, it's all good. Thanks guys.